any fire or fire-related announcements, information, or anything for the good of the hobby.
Alrighty, nothing heard there, W7 FSH KJ7YNZ. Are you ready to copy this net report radiogram?
Roger, roger. Ready to copy, sir.
Please copy figures 138, routine, Kilo Juliet 7 Yankee November Zulu. Check sum is 13, Vancouver, Washington, August 8th to WA7FSH. Text to follow, D1 net report, August 8th. Check-ins 34, traffic 1, end net 2000, figures 2000, 2000, and this is from KJ7YNZ Brad Howe, copy 138.
Roger, your message number 138. Thank you very much, sir.
Alright, so then probably what I will do is, hearing nothing from anybody else, the net is officially closed at 2000 hours. We're in a open mic for any other fire reports, traffic reports, internet reports, and the frequency is open, and the outdoors net is coming up. 73 is all KJ7YNZ.
Still getting pretty good internet out here, so I got a couple websites I'm going to give you guys for anybody that wants to stay alerted on these alerts. KG7QID. I'm going to let this reset.
If you don't mind, giving me websites is not going to do a dang bit of good, so and if you don't mind playing announcer, I'd be interested to know what's going on. WA7FSH.
Sorry, repeat the question.
A little more precise location on that fire, please.
So it's right along the Tualatin River. It's near Westlake Boulevard and it looks like Southwest Lee Falls Road. Just kind of north of both of those, and south of Southwest Nixon Drive. So that's kind of out near where they have like Stimson Lumber and, you know, that road that comes down there. KG7QID.
So that's the one that's out at Hague Lake.
Correct.
There we go. All right. And there are level 3 orders?
Yeah, it's level 3 for a small part of it, and this is kind of south and west of where the lake is at. There looks like there's another road that goes up to and around the lake that's kind of north and east of that. It looks fine. It's just if you're a little bit west of there and south, you don't want to be in that area.
Okay, because if memory serves me correct, you go to the dam and turn left across the dam, and you can make a big old circle on an asphalt road, nice asphalt road. Takes you to all the picnic areas and everything, and brings you right back out where you turned off the main road at. I don't recollect anything off of that road that's paved. So you're talking heavily timbered area and unimproved roads. If my picture is right, and I don't have internet or anything, so I'm having to just close my eyes and picture this. WA7FSH.
So to get more specific, it isn't that loop road, that shoreline drive, it's Southwest Patton Valley Road. So Patton Valley kind of goes further into towards Cherry Grove. Anyway, I'm going to let you open up your next net here. KG7QID, standing by.
Oh, I suppose I can do that. You betcha. Give me 1 minute. Oh, it is 8:10, isn't it? Doggone it. Good evening, everyone. The Outdoors Net is now in session. This is your net control station with walleye, anchovies 7, flounder, salmon, and halibut. WA7 FSH. I'm located in Gobel, Oregon. My name is Glenn. This net meets every Thursday from 8:10 to, well, whenever we get done chit-chatting about the great outdoors. Because our primary purpose is, of the net is to pass out information. Like, obviously, we're going to be doing quite a bit of tonight on fires in the area. The primary repeaters of the net are the 147.32, 442.325, 444.400, 444.125, and the 147.04 megahertz length repeaters, all having a PL tone of 100 hertz. Also, the 146.720 megahertz repeater on Wiki Up Mountain with a 114.8 hertz tone. All traffic will be accepted, and if you have emergency or priority traffic, you may break the net at any time by using the ProWord break. Stations are reminded that compliance with the FCC Rules Part 97 for the amateur radio service requires a station to transmit its assigned call sign on its transmitting frequency at the end of each communication and at least every 10 minutes during a communication. Bear with me, folks. I'm trying to make sure it is, Tom. Okay, the pictures don't do me any good, Tom. Jump on the radio and give me an update. But yeah, Lee Falls Fire. Gotcha. Yep, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Tom, while you're texting me, KK7QAV, WA7FSH, put you on Front Street. What's going on up there between you and Pumpkin Ridge Road and all that area? Is it crunchy dry up there, or what are we looking at? Okay, back to the net script. Pardon me, good grief. Now that we've gotten rid of the business, the official business, let's go ahead and take some check-ins for just so I have something to write down this evening. WA7FSH. If you'd like to check into the outdoors net, call signs Alpha through Zulu, any station, any location, please.
Kilo 6, Yankee Uniform Romeo.
Kilo 7, Quebec Yankee Sierra, Eric. Kilo Charlie 7, November Yankee Romeo. Whiskey 7, Oscar India Whiskey, Matt.
Kilo India 7, Oscar Delta Zulu, Brian in Hillsboro on mobile. Kilo Echo 7 Charlie Fox, K7CF Jordan Beaver. And Kilo 7 Uniform India November, portable.
All right, let's clear a few of these stations. KK6YUR, Mac, gotcha. Thank you. And then I had a KK7, I believe it was Quebec India Sierra, but there was another station or two in there doubling. So let's start with Quebec India Sierra. Is that correct?
No, that's it's actually Quebec Yankee Sierra, so QYS, so it's KK7 QYS.
That's why I asked. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that very much. Can I get a first name, please?
Yeah, first name is Eric.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate you checking in tonight. And then I got a Whiskey 7 Oscar India Whiskey, I believe, Matt. Kilo India 7 Oscar Delta Zulu, Brian. And then Gerard, KE7CF. And Peter, K7UIN. Any corrections first? Let's go with corrections needed first. All right, let's go with stations that tried to check in and I did not recognize you. This is Kilo Oscar 4, Tango Lima, Josh in Portland.
Yeah, we'll go with that tried and didn't get in. Kilo Zulu 7 Juliet Whiskey. Is that secretary?
Kilo 7 India Romeo India Jed Salem.
Well, there's three more. I believe it was KO4TL. And I apologize, but I missed your first name. Jay, got you in there, buddy. KZ7JWW. And then I think you said your name was Jeff. KK7IRI. Is that correct?
Call sign's right. The name's Jed, like Jedediah.
Got you in there, Jed. Got got you in there. The only other Jed I've really ever known in my life was a coworker, and he was an ex-Marine. And man, I'll tell you what, it didn't matter what you pointed him at. Get out of his way. No doubt. Thank you. Appreciate you being in here. K04TL, can I get your first name, please, sir? I missed it.
Roger, roger. First name is Josh.
Thank you, Josh. Got you on the log. Thank you very much. Any other stations that would like to check into the Outdoors Net at this time?
Good evening, Glenn.
Fish, this is Kilo Golf 7 Sierra Echo Uniform Bill, Northeast Portland.
Hotel Romeo, Mike in Kelso, the Quad Dog Destroyer.
Good evening, Glenn. Whiskey Bravo 7, Victor Papa India, finally clear of the crash and rolling again. Crash is right at 53rd Avenue, and they are in the mop-up phase.
Roger, roger, on 3 stations that could have just said, hey. Gotcha, Wilt, WB7VPI, and thank you for the update. Mr. SEU, I heard you say fish, and I was already scribbling down there. KG7SEU, gotcha, thanks, Bill. And then Mike up there on the hill in Kelso, well, kind of on a hill, in a valley on a hill. KB6, downhill racer, thank you, sir. Shoot, we're going to get done with check-ins and be ready to do the bottom of the hour break. Okay, anybody else, any station, any location that would like to check into the Outdoors Net? This is WA7FSH, your net control and host for this evening's Outdoors Net.
Whiskey Baker 7, Tango Zulu Delta, WB7TEZD, Tom, Vancouver.
Double. Kilo India 7, Big Papa Kilo Lima. Well, I'll go ahead and do it backwards real quick. Roy got you in there, KI7PKL, and yes, you doubled with Tom. And I believe Tom's call sign was WB7 and then a T, and I did not get the rest of it, Tom. So if you could please come with that call sign again.
Yes, Whiskey Baker 7, Time Zone Delta.
Got you in there, WB7TZD. You betcha. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. All right. Anybody on frequency have any information that they would like to impart? Anything at all, primarily fire related or evacuation related, etc., etc. You know, a question that I have is if they've got level 3 evacuation orders out there at that Lee Falls fire, there could potentially be some livestock need to be evacuated as well. Have they put out where those animals can be taken to or anything like that? Is there any information on that side of things?
KG7KON.
K7KON. Got you on the log. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so line of
livestock, I know it can be taken to the Washington County Fairgrounds, and I've seen, I'm kind of up on the hill looking over Patton Valley. The Patton Valley Road's the road that goes out to Cherry Grove. So to my house, you take Patton Valley out and then hang a left before Cherry Grove, but I can actually see quite a bit of Patton Valley from where I am up on the hill, and there's been a fair number of livestock vehicles and stuff heading out for the last number of hours.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that very much. As a kid that grew up on an Appaloosa horse ranch up in Washington, that kind of stuff's important to me anyway. You bet. I know why we eat cows and ride horses. Sorry about that. Anyway, thank you. So that was any livestock that need to be evacuated can be taken to the Washington County Fairgrounds. I'm sure they've opened up the barns and stalls and whatnot there. Pretty tough to haul the horses and the hay both at the same time, so I don't know if anybody knows of donation sites for feed for said livestock, but I'll bet you somebody could use some. WA7FSH, back to net.
Also, one other thing for locals in the area, I think Gaston City Hall, I think they have something set up there for people who are evacuating if they need some air-conditioned place to hang out or something like that. I don't remember for sure, but I think it was City Hall right across from Ace Tavern, so I would imagine if you go in that area, it would probably be fairly obvious. It's not a huge town, so.
Roger, Roger. What's the outdoor ambient temperature where you are, can you tell me?
Last I checked, it was 98, but I'll step away and come right back and give you an update.
Yeah, and hopefully he comes back with a lower number than that. Wow, that's hot. This is Whiskey Alpha 7 Foxtrot Sierra Hotel. You have stumbled upon us. This is the August 8th edition of the Outdoors Net. I am your net control and host. My name is Glenn, WA7FSH. While we're waiting, so I would imagine there's probably not a whole lot of people within the sound of my voice that don't know that on August 1st, Buoy 10 opened up for salmon fishing, and there is an announcement correlating with that fishing opener. All right, because I don't have internet and can't get to it, there was an email the other day where it was referring to, I believe it's this Saturday, the 11th of August. There is going to be a group of people who are going to be swimming the Columbia River there in the, in the area, and they're going to go from, and I don't remember the launching point in Washington, but I know they're going to come out of the water someplace there in Astoria. Now, this means there are swimmers in the water, folks. Let's not be chopping anybody up with propellers and whatnot. They are supposed to be guided and tailed with chase boats as well. I would imagine that there are flags as well on the boats denoting that. So please, if you are in that area on Saturday fishing, please keep an eye out. Keep in mind in the back of your head someplace, if you see an orange flagger like you'd see on a ski boat or something, that there are swimmers in the water. WA7FSH.
KG7KON. We're showing here, it's actually dropped considerably, maybe because the sun's not shining anymore because it's blocked out by the dark smoke. But it is 81 degrees Fahrenheit, 54% humidity, and so far only 2-mile-per-hour winds, so that bodes well. Earlier I could see the sun. It was a bright blue day and the sun was bright white, and I went out there a little while ago, and I can barely see the sun, but it's really red, and just like the whole valley is just engulfed in smoke. I used to actually be able to see where like 10 cop cars and all the fire bosses and stuff were all staged down at the corner of Patton Valley and Mount Richmond, but now I can't see down there anymore, and that's about a mile, so my visibility is less than a mile.
KONFSH, thank you. Thank you. So that raises another cautionary flag, and that is air quality. For those folks that are sensitive to the air quality, probably not the area you want to be even traveling through right now if you can help it at all. Anything else, KON, that you'd like to throw in at this time?
Yeah, I would say that you're right, air quality. I walked inside after moving some sprinklers around outside, and my daughter's like, you smell like a campfire. And I think walking outside, it seems like you're sitting at one of those campfires that you just can't quite get the smoke out of your face. That's pretty much what it smells like all the time out there.
Roger, roger. Yep, that's exactly what I would expect. Yes, sir. Okay, so air quality. Does anybody, or maybe you can tell me, does anybody have an idea of the coverage area of said smoke?
Well, I know I'm getting some weird sound right now, but I know the fire itself was, about 100 acres, 80 on the north side of the river and 20 on the south side last I checked. But as far as coverage of area for the smoke, boy, that's way huger than the fire. So, I mean, I would imagine all the way down to Highway 47 by now, because it looks, smoky like that, all that direction. Also, I guess Hague Lake has been closed down to people to make room for the fire planes and stuff, and we've been seeing the fire planes, dropping down into Hague Lake and dumping water out over there over the fire.
Roger, roger. You said the wind was only about 2 miles an hour, but I missed which direction.
I'd have to go check again. Last I saw, originally it was basically south, and so there was a little more worry of it jumping the river, and it did. But you could see, like I was looking out to the west, and you could see a big plume of smoke coming up and heading south. But I'm kind of to the southeast of it, and the valley in front of me is kind of, would that be, I guess, northeast of me and stuff. So it's definitely been traveling, the whole valley is full of smoke now, so it's definitely been traveling east.
All right, and again, well, shoot, I kind of have a map up here. Doggone, that smoke will then be affecting places like Sherwood and Newburgh, and or has it traveled that far east, you suppose?
Well, at this point, I can't really tell anymore because everything is a complete haze in all directions from where I'm at. But normally, like I said, I can see probably a few miles and stuff, but I can't even see a half mile at this point.
Roger, roger. Thank you very much. All right, anybody else with anything to add?
So did you copy that wind and smoke report? That was on a different radio for a minute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, sure did. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. All right. Not hearing anybody else chiming in just for the minute, and I haven't heard Oli, MBR, come back yet. Why don't we just go ahead and do the bottom of the hour secretarial work here? We're going to go ahead and pause the net to allow any non-net stations needing to make a call to do so. If there are any stations that need to make a short call not pertaining to the business of this net, please go ahead and do so. All right, hearing none, the Outdoors Net will now resume. Stations with emergency or priority traffic are reminded that you can break this net at any time by using the pro word emergency or break. But please do not use those words unless you have that type of frequency or have that type of traffic. Okay. Anything else? Let's open the net up to all topics. Remember that this is the Outdoors Net, and anything that gets you off the couch is fair game for the Outdoors Net. Please come now.
K7 Yankee, November Zulu.
Brad, go right ahead, sir.
Fishing for coho is closed at the mouth of the Columbia. They've reached the quota that they wanted, so then you kind of have to look at what's going on from Tongue Point to the Dells Dam and figure out if you're compliant or not. Over.
Roger, roger. Okay. Yeah, see, I can't even access my email right now, so I have none of that in front of me. Appreciate that, Brad. Yeah, I appreciate that. So, cohos, silver salmon, are closed in the Buoy 10 area. Is that clear to the Bonneville Dam?
Well, it's unclear. I know that coho is closed from Ledbetter Point down into Cape Falcon, I think, Oregon. And then on either side of it, you can ocean fish coho, and you have to check Columbia River regular season and whatever they did on emergency to know for sure, and I haven't been able to get a hold of that.
Roger, roger. Oh, look at that, and one of my doggone phones actually got enough service to have some email. How about that? Okay. Wow. I did not. Let me let this reset for just a minute. If anybody has an announcement or information that they would like to pass on, please do so. Okay, let's go with some fishing rule changes, since that seems to be the theme of this year's salmon seasons. From the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife, Marine Area 1, Ilwaco recreational salmon season to close. Now this ought to be right down there in Pete's neck of the woods, if I'm not mistaken. The action closes salmon fishing in Marine Area 1, Ilwaco, for the season. Effective date, August 12th until further notice. Species affected, it just says salmon in general. Salmon fishing is closed. It is illegal to possess salmon on board a vessel in Marine Area 1, including in transit. Additional information, the Marine Area 1 catch quota for coho, this is what Brad was just talking about, 39,900 fish, is projected to be attained by August 11th, necessitating this closure. So, that ought to be right down there, Pete's neck of the woods. They're closing her down as of the 12th. So that's Sunday, I believe. Another rule change, I'll let this reset. Marine Area 7 up there in the San Juan Islands is going to open for one additional day for Chinook salmon retention. It will be opened up on August 13th. Normally to be closed, but will be open on August 13th only, and only for hatchery Chinook salmon. Daily limit on that is 2 hatchery fish. Again, from the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife, another fishing rules change. Marine Area 10, this is the area from Seattle to Bremerton over there, opens up for Chinook retention for 2 additional days, and that would be this Saturday and Sunday, August 11th and 12th. Again, Chinook only, Marine Area 10, which is Seattle and Bremerton area, except, with the exceptions of Shoal Bay and Elliott Bay. Those will remain closed to salmon fishing. Sinclair Inlet and Port Orchard, Agate Pass area, and year-round piers in Bremerton will follow the rules listed in the sport fishing pamphlet. Again, daily limit is 2. Minimum size of the Chinook must be 22 inches. And from, guess who? Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife, fall Chinook harvest to be allowed in the Snake River. What? Chinook salmon retention in the areas of the Snake River, okay. Specific locations, dates, and rules are all listed on the Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife, but I will go over these real quick. Lyons Ferry, from the Red River marker on the south shore of the Snake River, upstream to the Highway 261 bridge. It's about almost a mile and a half. September 5th through October 27th. Open Thursday through Sunday each week. Okay? So for almost 2 months, but remember that it's Thursday through Sunday. Okay, closed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Daily limit is 2 adult Chinook. Again, that's 22 inches or better. And no limit for the Jack Chinook. Wild or hatchery, the Jack Chinook, there's no limit on. Minimum size on the Jacks must be 12 inches. Release all salmon other than Chinook and barbless hooks are required. Then, from the downstream edge of the large power lines crossing the Snake River, upstream of West Evans Road, this is up there in the Clarkston area, upstream to the Washington-Idaho state line, all right, August 18th through October 15th, good grief, yeah, full 2 months there, will be open daily. Daily limit, 3 adult Chinook, wild or hatchery, wow. No limit for Jack Chinook, wild or hatchery, and release all salmon other than Chinook. Again, minimum size, 12 inches, barbless hooks required. Holy cow, if you are up in that area, it really doesn't matter what you catch as long as it's a Chinook, you're in business. From the Washington-Idaho border to the Oregon state line is August 18th through the 31st of October. Open daily, 3 fish, wild or Chinook, no limit for jacks, minimum 12 inches, barbless hooks required. Wow, it sounds like if you want to fish for salmon, just forget all about Buoy 10 and the cohos there and go up there to Washington, Oregon, Idaho area of the Snake River and just catch Chinooks. Reason for the action is the 2024 Columbia River forecasted return of upriver bright adults is 261,800 fish, with a significant portion of these fish expected to return to the Snake River. And so you're probably wondering, oh, well, now why would they just open it up wholesale? Well, because if the fish try to go up any further than the areas they're talking about, they're just going to run smack into the Hells Canyon set of dams, and since there's no fish ladders on said dams, yeah, that's it. That's all the farther they can go. So, what an excellent opportunity to go over and see some beautiful country. If you wanted to do some car camping or some overlanding, an amazing place to go. Head over there and load up for Chinook salmon fishing.
I heard that there was you mentioned a closure somewhere. I think sometime, maybe next month, my wife and I were thinking about going over and fishing on the Siletz River. Any idea if that is still open or will be open at that time? KG7KON.
No, I haven't read anything about rivers down that far south. Although that's not to say I won't find something in the next half hour or better, that's for sure. WA7FSH.
Thank you, KG7KON. I'm going to go ahead and clear because I got to go help my wife move some chickens into the garage.
There we go, folks. Absolutely, sir. If you get done and we're still here, please hop back in and let us know if there are any updates. But I appreciate your help and appreciate your information. Thank you. WA7FSH, your net control station and host for this evening's Outdoors Net. Taking check-ins now from any stations, any location with contacts, information, or announcements for the good of the net. check-ins for any station, any location for this evening's edition of the Outdoors Net. Please come now.
KK7QAV, Tom here.
KK7QAV, got you on the books. Tom, how you doing over there?
Pretty good. I'm on the Green Laundromat radio. I hope that you can hear me okay. I called my friend Keith in Gaston. He lives up on the hill, Elk Cove Winery area. He can see the smoke 5 miles away. It's blowing south, and he can smell it. It smells terrible. But he's under no orders for evacuation or anything like that. So that's good.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so the evacuation area and the smoke coverage are primarily south. And as KON had described, it had already jumped the Tualatin River.
Yikes, and yeah, that's what he said, the smoke's blowing south. It was blowing southeast, but now it's southwest a little bit.
Roger, roger, appreciate it, Tom. Keep us advised if you know anything else. Please let us know. WA7FSH. K7JBL, go ahead. With the internet being down here and everything operating well, and plus I used up my 60 gigs of hotspot data. If I have it, it's slower than molasses, and most of it I just don't have, sir. Roger, roger, WA7FSH. Okay, well, I reckon, not hearing any other information to be passed at this time, let's go ahead and continue with our announcements. Since this is salmon season in earnest, let's go ahead and continue. Don't you just hate that when you bump the edge of the smartphone screen with your thumb and, yeah, everything you wanted just disappeared. All right, from the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife, dated today, the 8th, recreational open salmon NOAA Fisheries, in consultation with the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife, the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife, representatives from the Recreational Ocean Salmon Fishery and the Pacific Fishery Management Council have taken the in-season action with respect to the recreational salmon fishery in the area from Ledbetter Point, Washington to Cape Falcon, Oregon. Recreational ocean salmon angling within the Columbia River Salmon Management Sub-Area, Ledbetter Point to Cape Falcon, closes effective 12:01 a.m. on Monday, the 12th of August. Possession of salmon on vessels in the Columbia River Ocean Salmon Management Subarea is prohibited at any time when the season is closed and within that area. And this is exactly what Brad YNZ was mentioning. The marked coho salmon harvest in this area is expected to approach the quota of 39,900 by the end of the day on Sunday, August 11th. So through Sunday, August 4th, an estimated 29,028 coho salmon had been landed, and that's, you know, of the quota. That only leaves 10.8 K, pardon me, you know, left. So that's why they're guessing, they're estimating that the quota will be reached, and so they're closing her down. Going to jump back up to the other side of the river. News release from the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife. Invasive zebra mussels detected on aquarium Marimo moss balls. On Monday, August 5th, the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife received notification from a local wholesale aquarium company in Renton of possible invasive freshwater mussels on a shipment of these moss balls. Moss balls are commonly used as decorative algae in aquariums and water gardens. So, oh, wow, yeah. So if you're buying stuff like that to put in your water garden or your water feature in the yard, check those things over real well before you drop them in the water. Make sure you're not transplanting any invasive species. Within minutes, WDFW dispatched an aquatic invasive species early detection monitoring team who were in the vicinity monitoring for zebra mussels at American Lake in Lakewood. That's down in the Tacoma area. The team collected visible adult mussels, contaminated moss balls, and took water samples for DNA and microscopic analysis. Let this reset. Lab testing confirmed that the mussels were indeed zebra mussels, prohibited aquatic invasive species in Washington that, if established in local waters, would be capable of causing significant infrastructure and environmental damage. Infrastructure, that sounds to me like ditches, bridges, and pipes, anything else. That's no bueno. Zebra mussels and close relative quagga mussels are not known to be established in Washington. The last incident where zebra mussels infested moss balls were found in Washington occurred in 2021, which rapidly became an internationally scoped response and ultimately led to federal policy changes. The 2021 incident, first starting in Seattle, grew in scope to include 41 states and 9 Canadian provinces. These things spread like wildfire. Holy cow. We're asking anyone who has purchased these moss balls within the last year from any retailer to inspect them and take steps to decontaminate their aquarium or water garden for invasive zebra mussels. Yep, here we go. some of that infrastructure stuff. The two kinds of mussels, the quagga and the zebra mussels, can clog pipes and mechanical systems of industrial plants, utilities, locks, dams. And if invasive mussels take hold in Washington, officials estimate it could cost more than $100 million each year to keep Washington's power and water infrastructure running, in addition to the mussels causing catastrophic ecological damage. So, due to this risk and a quagga mussel detection in the Snake River in Idaho in 2023, WDFW received more than $3.62 million in funding to increase monitoring and prevention. So, folks, if you're buying stuff, and this is the time of year for yard improvement, time of the year to get off the couch and get out and do something. If you're working on a water feature in your yard, please be mindful and be eyeful for these things. This is Whiskey Alpha 7, Foxtrot Sierra Hotel, your net control station and host for this evening's edition of the Outdoors Net. Do we have anybody with any information or announcements that they would like to bring to the net at this time? All right, hearing none, I'm going to jump over to the recreation report for this week. You'll give me just a half a second. Boy, they were spot on that, aren't they? The recreation report from ODFW opens up with fishing regulation updates get a new home. If you are confused about where to find the fall salmon regulations, Columbia River seasons, and other fishing regulations and updates, I don't know anybody that isn't confused. We think you'll like the new fishing regulations updates page on odfw.com. So they've wow, it's about time, but they have gone ahead and added in another page on the website so that you can find these doggone rule changes, because they're coming just as well. They're coming faster and more often than we hold the net. So there you go. All right, let this reset. Hunters, anglers, wildlife watchers, what to know about wildfires. Wildfire season is hitting Oregon hard. You can check the latest fire updates and closures using the links on the ODFW page. Okay? You get the latest fire updates and closures. We'll also describe the policies on refunding tags and reinstating preference points. If an area where you're going to hunt is closed, they're not gonna say tough luck, buddy. A&H properties in northeast Oregon remain closed indefinitely due to significant fire danger. So, yeah, if you're up there in northeast Oregon, I'm going to assume that that's probably, Wilt would know better than I do, but Wallowa Lake and St. Joseph, Oregon, that area up there, says indefinitely. popular Buoy 10 salmon fishery at the mouth of the Columbia River opened August 1st, and anglers are catching fish. Tuna fishing. Last week, the albacore catch ranged from almost 5 fish per angler out of Charleston to almost twice that out of Pacific City. Holy cow! 10 fish per angler out of Pacific City, or close to it. Wow. In fact, I'm going to have to get a hold of Michael Bloom and see what we're doing. Yes, sir. That bodes well, though. I mean, good grief, if you need to get out and do something, and you can get a charter, get on a charter boat. That'll fill a freezer in a hurry, too. Are you ready for hunting season? It's not too soon to start planning for the upcoming season. That can include getting in shape to pack out an elk, looking for sales on your favorite ammunition, and doing some preseason scouting. Now, I shouldn't have to say this, but I will. If you're going to go do some preseason scouting, make sure that you have got stuff in your little fanny pack or your backpack to ensure that you're not starting a fire anyplace. Okay? On the ODFW webpage, there is a preseason scouting page, and there is also a hunter's checklist to make sure you've got everything covered, before and during your hunt. Classes. Observation and glassing class is going to be this weekend, August 10th and 11th in Multnomah. Bow hunters sight in and preseason 3D course, August 24th in La Pine. And there are various times and locations for hunter education courses. Questions, comments, anything on any of these announcements so far?
There you are.
Yes'm, go right ahead.
It's not a comment, but more or less just an added bit of information. Outside of classes, Sylvan Archers in Tualatin has a really good 3D course there, and they have a broadhead league. So, and there's a lot of hunters who are part of that. So that may be something else folks might be interested in if they want to get some practice in or whatnot. Memberships are decently priced for Sylvan. They haven't gone up in years. So they're talking about raising them next year. So if you want to get in now. KK6YUR.
Absolutely. And these broadhead courses and stuff are relatively new. The last time I packed a bow around in the woods would be 2002, 2003, around in there. And at that time, they did make targets that were more broadhead friendly, although at the prohibitive cost of broadheads. We just made sure that the practice tips that we had were the same weight that the broadheads that we used to hunt with, and that's what we practiced with. Do we have any archery hunters in the group? WA7FSH.
YUR. I'm not an active hunter. I'm wanting to learn. I haven't actually done it yet, but I do have a compound bow, and one of these days hope to do it. KK6YUR.
Moving right along. That's about it. That is about it for this week's announcements. although I did, when I did the TikTok live version of the Outdoors Net last week, I had time to open up a couple of the emails, and I don't see any this week, but the emails that I had been getting regarding updates of wolf activity up in Washington. Because I was curious, want to know what they had to say. Apparently, in the northeast corner of Washington, there is a pack of wolves up there that has been responsible for the killing of livestock and whatnot. They had tried several non-lethal methods, including, using explosions, shotgun shells, whatnot, kind of like they do birds at the hatchery, at the fish hatchery. They had also had range riders, had cowboys out there riding the range, and just in general increased the human presence out on the range in hopes that it would deter, these wolves from coming around, but did not. So they, I believe it was a couple of weeks ago, they did actually lethally remove one of the wolves from said pack, and we're taking a wait-and-see approach to see if that tend to curtail the activity or not. So, if you're seeing notices about wolf activity in Washington, and you're going to be in that neck of the woods up there in northeast Washington, take notice, check out the locations and boundaries, and be prepared.
Repeater, timeout. Repeater, timeout, cancel.
How far did I go over? Good grief. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and open it up for one more round of check-ins, comments, or questions for the net before we go ahead and shut it down for the evening. If you'd like to get on the list, please come now.
Yeah, November 7, Lima Fox Oscar, Andy, checking in.
N7 LFO. First name, sir?
Yeah, N7 LFO, first name Andy,
Andy, got you on the list. Thank you very much. Any others? Comments, questions, or check-ins for the net? All right, hearing none, thank you, everybody. Thank you for your participation and your attention as we discuss some, actually some fairly important information, especially about the fires and whatnot. Remember, folks, please be safe. Make sure you can stick your hands down in there if you've got something that you've got to cook or got to burn. Make sure that it is completely out and that embers aren't blowing around there. I sure hate to see the loss of our wildlands as well as the loss of property. The net, we're going to go ahead and close down the Outdoors Net now at 9:15 p.m. local time. This net operates through the courtesy of the Amateur Radio Relay Group Incorporated. We'd like to thank all stations who participated and those who stood by to give us a clear operating frequency. This is walleye, anchovies 7, flounder, salmon, and halibut. Returning the frequency to undirected amateur use. Good night, everybody. See you next week.